might say Perry Watkins likes to go for short drives.
The Flatmobile is the world's lowest car currently. It's just 19 inches tall. The concept for the car is that it's based on the original Batmobile from the 1960s Batman show, where Bruce Wayne drove a big black car with big fins, etc.
It's not his first time around the block.
This is the third time that I've built a low car to get into the Guinness Book of Records.
His last record holder was Lowlife, just 24 inches tall.
I've been building cars for about 25 years now. Always been strange, off-the-wall cars. The more unusual, the better.
Like the Dalek, based on robots from the old Doctor Who television series.
This one was actually 9 feet tall. Had a big dome on the top with the eye from the front, and it had a big bass system that would scream out, "You will be exterminated." It was actually, in some ways, really dangerous to drive. You really had to keep your wits about you because it was literally a traffic stopper. People would just stare, and we actually did make somebody crash one day, which caused some fun.
Building low cars is no small task.
Every time the record gets lower, it becomes more and more difficult to make the engineering actually work.
Flatmobile started as 2 Hillman Imps.
Hillman Imp has an engine where the cylinders actually lay over at 45 degrees, and it makes it a very compact engine from top to bottom. I actually chopped 30 inches out of the centre of the body of the car, and the whole of the section from the top of the doors upwards was removed, and the suspension was lowered by around 11 inches. The front suspension has been laid over at 45 degrees. You normally have 2 shock absorbers springs that are straight upright like most cars. These are laid over in this fashion and shortened so they will fit underneath the bonnet. We'll start under the hood.
He kept the original 5-gallon fuel tank, but loaded 70 kilos of molten lead underneath it.
Just to add weight, because without the weight of the original car and having the engine in the rear, the car was so light you could actually lift the front end with one hand.
Then he added a little pickup to the engine.
Behind the standard engine we have of course got the gas turbine jet engine, which is a home-built gas turbine producing about 150 pounds of thrust, which would probably add about another 50 miles an hour to the car's top speed.
And he customized the steering wheel.
In the middle here we've got the steering column, billet aluminium homemade steering wheel, and the steering column actually extends up to 15 inches to allow you to get in and out of the vehicle.
When you're 5'9" in a 19-inch car, looking good and feeling good behind the wheel, they're 2 different things.
It's different to drive, certainly different. You could say it's horrendous to drive. There's no windscreen, so it's very, very windy as it comes into your face. The steering wheel is only 6 inches in diameter, so steering is very heavy. No power steering on this vehicle, although the front end is fairly light, but that does make it difficult. You're pretty much lying down in the car. You're laid down very straight, very low. It's quite difficult to drive. It's bespoke, built just my size. Nobody smaller or much taller can even fit in or reach the pedals.
The car is street legal, but only in daytime and good weather.
The Flatmobile meets all of the British construction and use regulations except for one, and that is the height of the headlamps, which in Britain your headlamps must be 500 millimetres from the ground to the centre of the headlamp, which the headlamps on the Flatmobile are not.
Even in daylight there are a few small problems.
You do have to keep your wits about you very much. Because it's only 19 inches tall, it's lower than most people's garden walls and even the bedding plants in some cases. So people pulling out from a side road will look, and where they would normally see a car, you may be coming but they wouldn't see you.
On one occasion, Perry ventured onto the highway.
That was a bit unnerving driving along there as you're in a slow lane and you've got a big articulated lorry driving next to you and you're not even a quarter of the way up the lorry's wheels. That is disturbing.
It's equally disturbing from the truck driver's point of view.
The truck drivers do see the problem is that you're driving along and you're very nervous looking up at them. But what makes you even more nervous is that they're looking down at you rather than looking where they're going. You're thinking, look where you're going!
It's not always a smooth ride cruising country roads either.
When you're out and about in the car, the ground clearance is only 1 inch. So you do have to look out for speed bumps, dead animals, pheasants, rabbits, hedgehogs, Coke cans. And he's got to hit the road when he wants to use his jet engine. The jet engine is very loud, and I make a point of not running the jet engine at home. I take it out into the field somewhere to run a jet. Perry tours custom car shows with his creations, then he sells them to make money for his next project. He's got lots of ideas for a guy in the shoe business. Other ideas, the world's smallest car is one I'm seriously considering at the moment. The world record is currently held by a car made by a company called Peel in the 1960s in the Isle of Man, and that's a Peel P50. I think I can build one smaller than that. I'm looking at using one of the kiddies rides, the coin-operated rides that you see outside the supermarket, using one of those as the body shell and putting an engine and wheels under that. So it'll be like this going down the road, which should be hilarious.
And a lot of fun.
I love doing this kind of project because of the interest it gets from the general public. It's my sort of 5 minutes of fame, if you like, and it's great to spend a couple of years building something and then for people to say, wow, look at that, it's unbelievable. It's really satisfying.